Today I'm going to make it extremely easy to understand what is CTR, also known as click-through rate. But that's not all. I'm also going to teach you why CTR is important, what CTR averages you should aim for at a minimum, and by the end of the video, a few easy to implement tips and tricks we use to skyrocket our CTR on both Google ads and Facebook ads, regardless of the industry. Check out this example, where our CTR is more than double the industry average, meaning we get twice as many clicks than the competition. Or this example, where our CTR is more than triple the industry average, meaning we get 3 times more clicks than the competition. So if you want to learn how to do this for yourself, you definitely want to watch until the end of the video. But Karan, what if I'm new to digital marketing and advertising? Is this too tough for me? No. The best part is that anyone can learn this. You don't need to be a marketing guru to understand and master CTR to get more clicks on your ads. Hi, I'm Karan from LYFE Marketing. We're an award-winning agency that helps small businesses grow by saving them from bad marketing and little to no growth. So if you're looking for simple marketing strategies that make a big impact on traffic and sales, like this video and subscribe to our channel today. All right, let's get into it. Why is CTR important? Here are 3 big reasons why. First, having a high CTR is important to all businesses because you want to get potential customers from seeing your ad to actually making a purchase. The more clicks you get, the higher your chances of making a sale. Secondly, CTR is important because it directly impacts your performance and costs on advertising platforms such as Facebook and Google. When running ads on Facebook and Google, the higher your CTR, the cheaper your clicks. And who doesn't like cheap clicks? I know we do. Last, but certainly not least, CTR is important because it is a reflection on your advertising strategy. If your CTR is low, your ads are simply not relevant to your target audience. But don't worry, we're gonna uncover a few proven strategies to help you increase your CTR by the end of the video. If you're not actively monitoring your CTR, you're missing the opportunity to measure and analyze your ads and your audience to be more effective at moving potential people from simply being aware of your ads to making a purchase. So what is CTR, also known as click-through rate? It is simply the percentage of people who clicked your ad after seeing your ad. It's calculated by dividing the total number of clicks you get by the number of times your ad was shown. Here's an example of that. If your ad reached 1,000 people or impressions and 20 people clicked, you have a CTR of 2%. In other words, CTR is a measure of how helpful and relevant your ads are. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna share some game-changing tips to help you skyrocket your CTR, but more on that later. When running ads on Google, each of your ads and keywords will have their own CTRs that you can measure. On Facebook, each ad that you run will have its own CTR as well. Here's an example. 2 businesses put up an ad. Which ad is performing better in terms of CTR? Business ABC has 1,500 impressions, a 4% click-through rate, and Business XYZ has 2,800 impressions and a 2% click-through rate. If you guessed Business ABC, you're correct. You see, even though more people saw Business XYZ's ads, Business ABC actually had a higher click-through rate, meaning they got more clicks for a cheaper price. All right, so what averages should I aim for, Karan? Well, let's think about it. Click-through rate is like a credit score. With a credit score, the higher your score, the more money you can get at a cheaper cost. So the same is true for CTR. The higher your CTR, the more clicks you can get at a cheaper cost. In addition, like a credit score, it's good practice to have a relative CTR benchmark so you know what average is, what below average is, and what above average is. So I'm gonna help you out. I took a look at the average click-through rates on Facebook and Google to get an idea of what average is as you look across different industries. Let's look at Facebook first. What we notice is that the average click-through rate, CTR, for Facebook ads across all the industries is 0.90%, meaning that for every 101 people that see your ad, roughly 1 person clicks. So based on that data, The industries with the highest average CTRs are legal, retail, beauty, and apparel. Now, legal is a surprise to me, but retail and beauty and apparel make sense as they are authentically and aesthetically appealing and sales-driven industries. The lowest average CTRs are associated with the employment and job training industry, finance and insurance industry, and B2B industries. Some might call these boring industries, which may be the reason for the low CTRs for those industries. Nonetheless, use these numbers as a benchmark on Facebook to gauge your performance against others in your industry. Let me know in the comments if these numbers surprise you at all. Now, let's take a look at the average CTRs on Google Ads, formerly Google AdWords. Immediately, you'll notice that the CTR averages are higher than Facebook, with a 3.17% average click-through rate across all industries for Google search ads. Now, this makes perfect sense to me, as Google ads are driven by search intent, meaning users are actively searching for something, while on Facebook, it's more of a pattern interrupt, where the ads are attempting to convince users that they need something while they're scrolling down their Facebook timeline. Industries that see high click-through rates on Google search ads include dating and advocacy, auto, and the travel industry. Well, all industries driven by emotion. In contrast, technology, B2B, consumer services have some of the lowest CTRs on Google search ads, once again, likely due to their stigma of being non-sexy or exciting industries. I would like to mention that whether your industry average is high or low relative to other industries, the key is to use the data to benchmark your own ad CTR to understand how your performance stacks up against your competition. While average is average, here at LYFE, we actually set our benchmark CTRs for our clients above industry average, regardless of the industry. Take a look at our CTR minimums here. For Facebook ads, our minimum CTR is 2%. For Google search ads, our minimum CTR is 4%. In most cases, we blow our CTRs right out of the water because we have a few CTR tips and tricks about marketing sleeves that help make our ads simply irresistible. And as promised, let's talk about those easy to implement tips and tricks to skyrocket your own click-through rates. So there are a ton of ways to increase your CTRs, but the ones I'm gonna tell you today are the high-level tips that help you move the needle in terms of your CTR. Let's dive in. The first method is what we call the GMP method. You see, a trap many businesses fall in when writing ad copy is the trap of talking about themselves. They do this because they want to build trust with their audience. I get it, by telling their brand story and listing a whole lot of accolades. While trust is important, what your audience cares about first and foremost is finding a solution to their problem. Therefore, when writing ad copy, first speak to what we call your audience's GMP, goals and pain points, if you want to increase your CTR. A goal is something that your audience wants to accomplish. A pain point is the troubling issues and challenges that motivate your audience to seek a solution like you. Let's use a not so sexy industry and see how we can use the GMP method to pull out goals and pain points to use in our ads to increase CTRs. For this example, car insurance. The goals of someone looking for car insurance might be the following: a quick setup process if I decide to be a customer, support in case I submit a claim, cheaper prices than my car insurance. Okay, let's look at the pain points now. The first pain point might be having to call and wait to speak to someone over the phone. Secondly, feeling like I'm being overcharged. And lastly, signing up for more than I need. All right, now that we have our list, we will sprinkle some of those goals and pain points in our ad copy that speaks directly to our audience's needs. A company who does this really well is Root Car Insurance. Take a look at their Facebook ad. It literally touches on every goal and pain point we just mentioned. It's clear that they know how to relate to their customers and get clicks. The second method we want to talk about for higher CTRs is power words. Now, believe it or not, there are certain words in the English language that when used, help to drive action. In fact, according to studies, These are the top 5 words. You, because, instantly, new, and my personal favorite, free. And frankly, I can see why. The word you makes the ad personal. The word because gives a reason for something. The word instantly satisfies our need for instant gratification. The word new gives the feeling that it's also better. And the word free, well, who doesn't like free things? When writing your ad copy, feel free to use these power words, when applicable, of course, to get higher CTRs and more clicks on your ads. Quick note that while you is a power word, Facebook doesn't like it so much, and they typically reject ads that use the word you. So be mindful of that and try it out on Google. All right, the next method is to test many different ad variations for higher click-through rates. Ever heard of the term, don't knock it until you try it? The premise here is that you don't know what is good and what is bad until you give it a chance. And the same is true for your ads. You never know what will work and what won't work until you try it. So test everything. Test videos versus still images. Test long copy versus short copy. Test appealing to different emotions such as fear and joy. Test different extensions, call to actions, test one audience against another. Test, and then test again. Salespeople say never stop closing. Those with high CTRs say never stop testing. In summary, CTR is simply a measure of how helpful and relevant your ads are. And it's definitely something worth tracking and optimizing for to help you get more clicks on your ads and ultimately more sales. With the steps mentioned today, you're well on your way to above average CTRs. Comment below and let us know what tip you're gonna use to help increase your CTR. And if you have any tips that were not mentioned in this video, feel free to include that as well. Also, if you haven't done it already, come a little closer, like this video to help others just like you find it and benefit from it. Also, subscribe to get videos just like this to help your business grow. I'm Karan from LYFE Marketing. Until next time.